There were never two people more free than Colleen and Patrick. Together, they sailed to Molokai, just the two of them, in a rented boat. She, a seasoned spirit of the sea, taught him to run a sail. His childhood lived far from any ocean. The ocean shared its secrets, with great humpback whales spawning around them, a dance of ancient power. They arrived at the base of towering green cliffs, once home to a hidden colony. From rugged trails, they rode sure-footed mules to civilization, exploring forgotten, Western-style towns. In a first-class hotel, they felt like royalty, former wanderers embraced by luxury. The next day, a tiny plane carried them to Maui and to Haleakala's peak. Below the clouds, the sunrise painted the sky. A revered tradition, a sacred experience. Rich in love, steeped in the wild heart of the outer islands, they returned to Oahu. Not just travelers, but changed souls, having discovered two more pearls of the Pacific and the boundless freedom within themselves.
There were never two people more free than Colleen and I. We sailed to Molokai on our own, in a rented boat, she teaching me how to run a sail, for I had lived a landlocked childhood. Along the way, we saw the great humpback whales spawning, as they did every year. We arrived at the base of the huge green cliffs where there had been a leper colony a long time ago. Then rode a mule up to civilization and poked around all the old Western-style towns. By this time, I had become so brown-skinned that I could hardly remember what color white was. We stayed in a first-class hotel, feeling like two bums suddenly turned into royalty. The next day or so, we took a tiny airplane to Maui and climbed the Haleakala crater, where there were still some steaming vents, and watched the sunrise. A revered Maui tradition. We saw it from above the clouds. It was almost a religious experience. It was said the demigod Maui lassoed the sun and held it prisoner until it agreed to shine on Maui's island every day of the year. And so it did. Practically, as luck would have it, a hurricane was passing by the day we were there. Very close. But to the south, and high wave forecasts had cleared all the beaches. However, the sun still shone on Maui, just like always. When Colleen saw marijuana growing wild on the hillside, she almost fainted with ecstasy. Soon recovering, she gathered a few samples. Having already run low of money, we chanced upon someone who, not so strangely as it turned out, was growing pot and mushrooms. And we, having become rather overly social from our days on the Waikiki porch, easily made a friend of him and had him laughing with some of our tales of adventures and misfortunes. And so it was that he invited us to stay there for a few days. It turns out that mushroom farming is indeed a useful business on Maui, and only a few of the mushrooms were of the magic variety. And I'm sure we had some, for there were several days during which we knew not whence we came nor where we went.
Another useful occupation in Hawaii was picking macadamia fruits. The reason that macadamia nuts are so expensive
extract. Only one measly nut can be obtained from a fruit the size of a plum. And two, they are so delicious that you just can't stop eating them! And so the demand ever exceeds the supply! So, we went a little nuts for a while and had many a mushroom pipe dream. But it was time to return to Oahu! Both of us were rich in love and well steeped with the outer island experiences. For we'd seen 2 more pearls of the Pacific.